So, smaller government suppliers are closing down because they are being paid late or they're not being paid at all. The Public Service Commission has sent a stern warning to government departments, saying this disregard is hurting the economy. So the PSC has singled out the Water and Sanitation Department, which owes suppliers close to 400 million rand by March. All government departments are required to pay small business suppliers within 30 days. PSC Commissioner Michael Seloane has also flagged the Department of Environment, Forestry and Fisheries and Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. And he joins me now to unpack some of the details of the PSC report that came out today. Let's start with some of the complaints, Commissioner, that you saw coming through your office in the period that you are reporting on. Obviously, it was not easy for you to deal with some of them because of the impact of COVID-19.
Good evening and good evening to the listeners. The complaints will always be a feature within the public service. But I need to indicate that majority of these complaints are taking place at departmental level. And the 0800701701 number is for any public servant, any member of the public to raise a complaint or blow a whistle about what is going on in the system. And then some of those complaints that we get through the National Anti-Corruption Hotline, we look at the veracity of those complaints, and then those that can be investigated by department, we refer them to the departments. But when it comes to irregular appointments and irregular procurement, we deal with those ourselves. And then we've been seeing a slight increase. People are getting used to COVID-19 conditions or the environment, and they are now able to raise those complaints with the PSC. So the departments take a bit long in resolving some of those complaints. So they've been making use of the excuse of saying because of COVID-19. But the new normal is now with us, and complaints have to be dealt with within the required time frame.
Right, and one of the biggest is that non-payment of suppliers or late payment. The biggest people that are affected here are small businesses and those that have been previously disadvantaged. Now, you say in the report that you've been following the compliance of department when it comes to paying these suppliers, but there haven't been many improvements, have there?
The payment of service providers within 30 days. It's serious concern for the country as a whole. And as a commission, we've been monitoring that, service providers are paid on time. We are more concerned about small businesses because if they don't get their payment within 2 months, 3 months, they may go under. And yet, as the Department of Trade and Industry and government broadly, we're encouraging small and medium-sized enterprises to be able to provide service to government. When we look at national departments, for the past 18 months or so, we've been monitoring that closely, and we've seen an improvement that the number of invoices that are not paid in national governments has gone down tremendously. However, in provinces, because maybe we have not paid much attention in provinces is huge. If you look at Eastern Cape, it's more than 2-point-something billion amount that still needs to be paid to service providers. That amount of money will go a long way in making sure that small and medium-sized enterprises are alive and they employ 5 or 10 or 20 or even 100. And then if they are not paid, it means those people are going to get more unemployed. So that's why we are seeing this issue as serious and that it needs to be dealt with seriously. Yeah. So our commissioners in the provinces are now in the next 2, 3, 4 months be seized with this issue and work with different provincial governments, departments to ensure that the number of invoices comes down, because when you look at 20,000 invoices which are not paid, we have to make sure that within the next few months that it comes down ideally to zero. And that's what we want to see, that all service providers are paid. So we are going to engage them rigorously.
Yeah, and what's more concerning in this instance, Commissioner, is the fact that some departments, you've indicated in the report, are not even filing or submitting compliance reports to National Treasury when it comes to these invoices that they're supposed to be carrying out for their suppliers. I mean, if people are not even complying when it comes to submitting necessary documentation, how do you begin to deal with the backlog of invoices?
Yeah, those departments that are not complying with the Public Finance Management Act will be engaging those ministers to immediately charge the accounting officers in those departments, because PFMA says all service providers must be paid within 30 days. So the ministers and MECs are the ones who are responsible to ensure that accounting officers, heads of departments or directors general do comply. And then this is a matter that we will be taking seriously within the next few days to make sure that those ministers are appraised of that situation as we publicize this report, and then we go to them directly and ensure that charges are brought up. Or if no charges are brought up, we need to get a serious explanation why they are not charged in that regard.
Very interesting insights, Commissioner, and I wish we had more time to discuss some of the other nitty-gritties in this particular report, but that is all the time we have for, and that's the Commissioner for the Public Service Commission, Michael Seloane. They're breaking up some of the important details that came out of the report that was released by his organization earlier this afternoon. And